Probably just the two of us. And of course, that's what Donna says to Charlie after the now infamous bump as their phones are being wiretapped. Well, Georgia invoked that today and said, and I thought this was one of the best lines of the entire closing argument. Georgia says, if anyone in that deliberation room wants to acquit her, make them tell you how that line is not a confession.
Welcome to the global phenomenon, Surviving the Survivor. Here's your host, Emmy Award-winning journalist, Joel Waldman.
What's up, STS Nation? Welcome to Surviving the Survivor. It is the show that brings you the very best guests in all of true crime. And today was an absolute unmitigated dismantling of Donna Adelson's defense. And that was at the hands of Prosecutor of the Year, Georgia Cappelman. She just took absolute control of Courtroom 3G. We're live here in Tallahassee at the Leon County Courthouse. And in Courtroom 3G, Georgia just went methodically through this closing, and here to help me break it down, you know him well, famed Tallahassee criminal defense attorney R. Timothy Jansen, the letter R, O-U-R, and Timothy knows the bowels of the Leon County Courthouse, and we're sitting somewhere that I did not know existed. We are by ourselves. Got about 20, 25 minutes. Tim and I are both starving, for full disclosure. What do you think, Timbo? I mean, the closing, I mean, Georgia does what Georgia does in her red power suit. Toward the end, at the very end, I think we both started to feel, and I think the jury started to feel like it was getting a little long there, but effective still.
Well, you know, Dillinger was caught, and he was found by the lady in red. She said, I'll be wearing red at the movie theater. And I think Donna's seeing nothing but red when Georgia is on the stand. The graphics were incredible. She started to undercut the defense's arguments even in her first part of her closing. The graphics were incredible. They really were. The jury was riveted to her seat. The only thing I would say could have been done, she probably should have stopped after an hour, because after an hour people get tired and they get bored, and she might have lost them. But she did. She dismantled any defense, used her own words against her, and showed that this is not. And she was attacking the defense's opening within 5 minutes of her closing.
Yeah.
This is not the nice lady they talked about. And these lawyers were attacking Dan like he didn't care. And she spent 45 minutes on the divorce to show motive.
Yeah, 100%. I thought one of the most effective things toward the end, we were watching just now, you're talking about the demonstratives. Well, Georgia said, listen, this is largely a circumstantial case, but there is plenty of direct evidence. And then she put up the direct evidence on the screen, just very simple, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. I mean, that really brings it home, right?
It does, because, you know, they're saying circumstantial direct. Well, she showed them what direct was, and she reiterated the same thing in black and with white lettering, all the things she did that are clearly implicating her into the involvement in this murder. And one of the key things was that planner with the license plate, make and model of Dan's car.
Yeah, and one of the things that Georgia said is at the end, Don Adelson didn't have to say anything specific, like we need to go kill Dan Markel. Like, that's not necessary here to convict. Can you just explain that a little bit in terms of the law?
Yeah, she doesn't have to for solicitation. It just has to be an agreement. She has to entice, aid, and somehow get someone to commit this crime, which was going to be the murder. And she knew it, and she did it. I mean, the motive was really portrayed early on, that this legal fight was a battle and it wasn't over with. What struck me was how they really tied the birthday present and showed what the birthday present was. It's clear that the birthday present was going to be the murder, because after the knuckleheads come up here and they don't complete the murder, Charlie sends a text to the mother and says, still working on the birthday present.
Yeah,
I mean, that couldn't be any clearer.
And she says it, I'm just taking my notes here, but she says more than one time during closings that innocent people don't speak in code. And she just flat out says the TV's code, the birthday party is code. So she's not even leaving room for interpretation for the jurors. The jurors are going to go in there and they're going to say to each other, do you all think that the birthday party was code for murder? And if they say yes, it's game over right there.
Yeah, it was a pretty brutal demonstration of how she said that they committed this crime. She described what a conspiracy is, how the participants tried to insulate themselves, how Donna thought she insulated herself, Charlie, how his split personality, his motor mouth, ended up getting them all caught. Katie and Sigfredo, the two of the most, I mean, they were smart enough. They weren't going to call that bump number. They for sure weren't calling the bump number. And it ends up she calls it.
Yeah. By the way, Mr. Bumpman, now that it's over, says he's coming down.
Please stand by. It appears that Joel has a phone call coming in. So just bear with us here while he gets his phone together. In the meantime, welcome to STS. Joel Waldman and attorney Tim Jansen are live from the Leon County Courthouse. That's in Tallahassee, Florida, where Donna Adelson, the matriarch, is on trial for the murder of her ex-son-in-law. That's Dan Markell. He was an FSU law professor and a beloved father of two young boys who have now grown up without their father and are now possibly watching their grandmother, be convicted, as well as other relatives as well. So this is obviously a very sensitive week for everyone. The Markells, that is Ruth and Phil Markell, Dan Markell's parents, as well as Shelley Markell, that's Dan's sister. They have been in Tallahassee for the entirety of this trial. They're waiting to find out whether or not justice will be served for their son, Dan Markell. And again, I believe Joel and Tim are back, so I'm going to hand it back off to them. Thanks so much, everyone.
That's what we call Fisher Price equipment. Once again, we got to figure out a better system. But Tim and I are back in one piece here. We're just talking about these code words and what they're going to, have to deliberate over. I mean, Tim, realistically here, now we're, by the way, Judge Tim's taking pictures to put on Instagram at Courtroom Chef for Tim. But, they're gonna. We thought at one point Judge Everett wanted the closings done before lunch. Obviously, it's not happening because now we're taking a break till I think one. What do you say? 1:40, 1:45. So another 45 minutes, and then presumably close to 2 hours. So jury's not going to get this, and then a rebuttal. So the jury's not getting this till this afternoon, like 4 o'clock. So probably no verdict today. What's your guess?
I told yesterday, I thought a verdict around noon tomorrow will be a verdict. Remember, they got to do the closings, both and the rebuttal, and Georgia only has 7 minutes left. But the problem then is both parties have to go up to the table with the clerk and make sure that only the evidence that's been introduced goes back to the jury room. That will take probably 20 minutes. So we're lucky if the jury really gets in that jury room before 4 or 4:30. Then they have to select a fourth person. And we don't know how long the judge will let them go tonight. Unless they say they're close, he might let them go like at 6 or 7, come back in the morning, and I expect we'll get a verdict or a mixed verdict by noon tomorrow.
And is it true that generally jurors want to get home for the weekend? Like, would you be surprised if we didn't get a verdict tomorrow on a Friday?
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised, even if they're hung up on one count or not, that we wouldn't get a verdict tomorrow.
COE, what's happening?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in here. So obviously everyone that has been watching with us in chat, and by the way, today we had 20,000 people at one point. So thank you to all of you guys for watching the stream with us.
Thank you.
But many people were stressing out about the time and were obviously anxious watching. That's all of us who have been watching from home, who have been watching this case unfold for many years. What about the jurors? Do they look nervous? Were they stressing out? Were they calm? Talk to us a little bit about what both of you guys were able to observe inside of the courtroom.
Timbo, I'll let you take that. I mean, to me, the jurors looked totally attentive the entire time, actually. Even when it felt like it was getting long to me, they were interested, I thought.
I think they were. I think they were watching. She started up strong. Remember, now the graphics really help a jury. When you hear someone just talk for an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, it gets monotonous. But they're showing graphics. and she's pointing to different graphics, and she played a couple of recordings. That helps. It got a little long-winded towards the end, in the middle there with lagged on, but the jurors were still watching. I didn't notice a lot of them taking notes. I did not.
No.
So I
Even
think,
even the note taker woman who sits back right,
yeah,
she kind of sat in a posture like this,
right.
I know everything
Like
at
I'm
this
done.
point.
Like
Yeah,
I'm done.
yeah. I mean, again, Mountain Man was like sitting on his elbows on his knees, and he was leaning all the way forward. There is one juror who sits next to Mountain Man. He's got a beard. He's like second or third from the gallery in the front row, and
That's the big guy.
no, little guy, small,
Oh,
not
yeah, yeah,
small,
yeah.
but he's got a thin beard, and he just looks at Donna like he just cannot stand her.
It's hard to really look. I mean, I was honing in on the Harvey and their people, and they were not happy. They were not comfortable. I don't think they were comfortable with the things they were hearing in closing, how the things were being tied up and the pieces were being shown, putting them all in that little puzzle, and the picture keeps showing up, Donna.
Yeah, this question, I can't, my eyesight is going, but it basically is saying, why do you think Jackie took a back seat? But let me ask a broader question. I mean, in the middle of that closing or toward the end, Jackie objects, and I have never seen that where then sidebar is called and the jury's asked to leave in the middle of the closing. I mean, that's super disruptive. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry for disrupting and objecting in the middle. But that's what she did. How does what happened there?
It's really close. It was a questionable issue, adopted confession, adopted statement. These text messages between Charlie and Donna. There's some statements in here about who did it and this, and so Georgia was trying to show she adopted these admissions and Charlie's extortion theory. The defense was arguing, hey, you're shifting the burden, and you can't shift the burden, meaning the defense has to prove they didn't do it. And that's not the law. This is a very careful area. And on her willingness to be silent, that's another area that can get an objection and get a mistrial. The judge took a break, knew it was an important issue, wanted to hear from Georgia. He listened to it, he ruled, then he came back and he let the court know and told Georgia, this area on her silence and shifting the burden can be cause for a mistrial. So he put it on the record, letting Georgia know, you may have gotten to the line, don't cross it.
Yeah. Here's some interesting lines I thought were powerful. This is Georgia now in the closing. Charlie is her go-to guy to get it done, implying that she was the mastermind. Giving up was not an option for Donna Adelson. Neither was losing. So when she had no more control, and by the way, it's interesting to watch her today during closings because she has no control. I mean, there's nothing she can do right now, and it's got to be driving her insane. Georgia also said about Donna, it was a huge problem, and she made it Charlie's problem. And then the line she keeps repeating is, innocent people do not speak in code. One of her final lines, she admits, she says, it's true she did not pull the trigger. She's accused of first degree murder as a principal. But Tim, what's your experience like in the jury room? How carefully are they going to look at the law itself? I mean, they're not lawyers, but they've got to decide, okay, she's arrested for first degree murder. She didn't pull the trigger. What does the law say? How carefully do they look at the law?
I think they're going to, and I think people will look at those jury instructions, and they're going to be a different version. Everybody's going to read it differently. They're not lawyers. No judge is telling them, and you might get questions, and questions that are obvious to you and me, and the courts are very limited what you can tell a jury on a jury note. Those are very problematic.
What can Judge Everett tell them if they write a note kind of wanting clarification on the law? What is Judge Everett allowed to say? What's he not allowed to say?
Most likely, the judge will tell them that you have been read the law, you have a copy of the jury instructions, you are the jurors. We cannot give you any more information at this time. Now, if there's a clarification and both parties agree, then he can write a note back to them. But judges are reluctant. A lot of cases get overturned when you start telling the jury during deliberation something. I think the principal theory is important. And I think in rebuttal, I think she's going to really hit the principle. and I think she's going to hit the license plate. She's going to hit the motive and the license plate and talk about that birthday gift and talking in code. And she was a co-conspirator, and she paid the money. She gave the license plate. It funneled through and she paid afterwards. She's guilty.
This question says, Tim, what is your opinion on not including the lesser charges? Explain that. What's going on with these lesser charges?
Well, the defense objected to any lesser included charges. What they don't want is the jury to think, okay, we're not going to get her first degree, we'll get her manslaughter. Manslaughter can still get her 30 years in prison. So they didn't want that. They want all or nothing. They think they can't prove it. They don't want any lesser included because sometimes jurors will, they'll bargain in there just to go home. They don't want that. They want all or nothing. And the client agreed to that on the record.
Interesting. I can't see this other question here. It's so good. I can't read it. I literally used to have 2 years ago, I had 20/20 vision. Now I can't read it, and I don't have my glasses with me. Can you read that, Tim?
Justice and
Two old guys
Justice.
trying to read comments. This should be a new YouTube show. Two old guys trying to read comments. The fabric on your seat, by the way, is amazing. I love it. Tim's the best dressed guy in Tallahassee. So listen, I mean, it was a very powerful close. Again, to some of us, mainly because we're hungry and we're going for days, we felt like it was getting a little bit long. But to Georgia, I'm sure she had to get all those points in. What was interesting at the very end, and then we'll wrap it up. I mean, Judge Everett to the second. I mean, he's a funny guy, but he said to Georgia, as soon as she's done, he goes, Georgia, you have 7 minutes and 6 seconds left, but you can have some extra time if you need it. So, was he just joking there? Like,
Yeah.
how much leeway does she have with the rebuttal? I mean, how much
He's going to give her 10, 15 minutes in rebuttal.
10, 15 minutes.
And I would think that would be enough.
And now the big question is, who's going to do the closing? I mean, we thought it was going to be Zellman.
I think it's still going to be Zellman.
You do.
I think Jackie objected because she knew it was close. And if they didn't file that objection, if they did not object, they waived it. So they had to make it right then or there, or they had to make it after she finished, go to sidebar. There were some things that Georgia did, they didn't object. And as you say, no harm, no foul. You don't object, it's not on the record. Your objection's not preserved. It's not for appeal. That was probably still good for appeal.
They're like one of the oddest legal couples I've ever seen. I mean, do you recall a time in Tallahassee with two such different personalities trying a case together?
There doesn't seem to be a lot of collegiality between the two of them.
No chemistry.
No chemistry at all.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't know what their style is. I haven't been able to figure that out. But we'll see. We'll see who. I think that Josh will do the closing.
Yeah. Oh, what is this? I can't read it. Tim, love the pocket square, I think. Is that what it says?
It says, did Tim love the powdered donut dust analogy?
Oh,
I
I'm really going blind.
I think that's good because, people can understand that. You can have 3 kids and all the donuts are gone. And one kid's got all the powdered sugar on him. Well, that kid probably ate the donut. That's a good one.
By the way, as everyone knows, it was our anniversary this week. I had gotten the
Happy
COE.
anniversary.
Thank you. COE and I tickets to see Lady Gaga. I thought I'd be back. I wasn't. So the COE went to see Lady Gaga last night, and Lady Gaga canceled the show
Oh my God.
5 minutes before the show.
Maybe you get to go next time they read it.
Yeah. I'm supposed to get new tickets. COE, how was the show last night?
I love spending 3 hours in an Uber in Miami traffic to not watch the concert. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime. Love it. Did Tim and I have permission to go eat? Love everybody. I just want to say thank you to everybody. Shout out to my man Space Coast on the West Coast, who does not get the recognition that he deserves. But Space Coast is up early on the West Coast, and he's up late on the West Coast. And he's putting out all of this stuff on audio, so you can listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts. One of the unsung heroes of STS, but appreciate everybody, appreciate the COE. Carm and I are brawling a little, but that's nothing new, and she and I will settle our differences. But COE,
Just so everyone knows, we're redirecting you back to the stream. Attorneys are going to return at 1:40 p.m. Eastern time, so that's in about 32 minutes. And then tonight we do have a show. Do you want to just tease that quickly, and then I'll take us out?
20 minutes after court, we'll have a show. It's going to be Tim. It's going to be Stephen Webster, who is Dan Markel's post-divorce attorney and was supposed to testify in this trial. Joe Patuto, Who am I missing?
I think I'm doing the show.
And Tim Jansen. That's who I'm missing. Tim Jansen. Yeah. So all four of us will be on there
And
for the
John
first
Cena.
20. Oh, maybe Singer. I don't
Stephen
know.
Webster.
Cohen, you got to tell us.
I think
Cohen.
Stephen Webster's good.
Yeah, Steven's coming. Steven, Singer, Jansen, Patudo. Yeah, that sounds right. The four of them. The
It's
four
a
of them.
powerhouse panel. All right, we're ready whenever you are. Go to lunch.
All right, just take us out. Love you all. Love you, Tallahassee. Love you, Justice for Dan Markel. Thank you, Tim Jansen. And thank you, Joe Patudo.